So, good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Cecilia. How are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
Hanging in there. It's a rough time.
Yeah. Are you in DC now already?
No, I'm actually not in DC right now. It's too hard to be there.
Uh-huh.
It is just too hard. The city is not the city that I know.
Well, the country is not the country that we know of, like for
Oh no,
sure.
absolutely. I was talking to someone else about this, but the reality and the truth is that it's been heartbreaking. It's been absolutely heartbreaking. And for me, I didn't say it last time, but maybe I should be clear. I'm kind of done. I'm kind of just done. It's too much.
Yeah, and I totally understand that feeling. Having been like in the movement for so long, and we saw a lot of gains. And I think that that's really the important part is some of these gains are still there, although it
Oh,
feels
absolutely.
so,
And they will come back,
yeah.
and they will come back because we are on the right side of history. They can never take that away from us. And so I know that the gains will come back, but it's just the process right now is so hellacious.
I hear the same kind of reactions from many people. It's just the roller coasters, and also, like it's really a time for, like the new generations of leaders to take
Yeah.
over.
Well, and I think particularly, when you're as old as I am, it was very, very clear to me as we got further into this administration that I don't have it in me and that I have got to turn this over because, it's too much.
Yeah, so but if we say we look back, like can you tell me at least one thing you're most proud of in the
Oh,
last?
there are so many things that I am proud of. And I think that's what makes this so heartbreaking is that there are so many things that we, and not Paul Kawata, but we as a movement were able to build from nothing. We were both back there in the day when there was nothing, when there was absolute nothing, and we were the shit of the earth and we built these organizations and these systems and these funding streams, and we buried the people we loved. So there was so many things that we've accomplished. We passed important pieces of legislation. We were part of a movement that created real changes, and then they all got taken away.
Yeah, well, like I still remember when we were trying to advocate for more data inclusions for APIs way back
Oh,
then.
please. And for the transgender community, it was some of the proudest work that I've ever done. And I particularly want to shout out to Suki Ports. I definitely do not want to take away anything from everything that we did. And that's what makes it so heartbreaking. I don't know. Have you talked to Suki recently?
No, but I channel her a lot of times now, like can you see my haircut?
Yeah, well, I was going to say you're having a very Suki moment with the hair. She's not doing well,
Oh, okay.
and so if you call her, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll do that. And look, so let's get back to Paul Kawata though. I think that, like from the Paul that I remember, like that fashionista, in every single conference. Um,
Did Mark tell you what I did with my jackets?
no.
So, I had all of these designer jackets,
Yes.
and I love them. But there is a moment in your life when you realize I'm never going to use or wear these jackets again. And so I sold all of them on
Where
the
did you sell
I sold
online?
them on the Real Real. Do you know the Real Real? It's a website. It's called The Real Real, and I donated all the money. I unfortunately had a very dear friend commit suicide, and so I sent the money to the National Suicide Hotline because life is still very tough. Life is
Yeah.
still very, very, very tough. And I wanted to do something to honor him.
Yeah, and yeah, it's hard not to like think about this political moment either. Like when you think of
Oh,
like all these like really important services, like the suicide hotline.
it's insane. It is, and it is insane every day. Part of why I'm leaving is I am just, it makes me insane. And every day it seems like there is something else. So, today we have the piece about the fact that the Supreme Court ruled that NIH can cancel, I don't know, 500, $800 million of grants that related to DEI and gender affirmation. It
Yeah. But I think that this is a good time for you also to retire. Well, retire. I'm pretty sure that you have other things
Oh,
planned.
no, 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 honey. I am retiring. Be very, very clear. I am not consulting. I am not hanging a shingle out. I am old. I am very, very, very old. And I am retiring. I've put together a bucket list of places that I want to visit before I die. And it's important for me to remember the joy that life gives. I think when, like both of us, we've been fighting so long that it's easy to lose that joy.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I think that it's also important to spend times with those we care about. Like I really started to feel the age part. Like when I go see my mom and pick her up and take her grocery shopping, and to see her, being so frail, it's so different from the mother I remember in my heart and in my mind. I'm sure that you have those moments too.
I have and had the quintessential tiger mom. And now she's 94 years old and extraordinarily frail. And you wouldn't recognize her. And and I just want her to be at peace.
And yeah, and it's hard sometimes, to think that like our time is so limited and there's so much we want to do and there's so little time we spend with, those we said we care about.
Well, and as you get older, those people will become fewer and more precious because the reality is that I'm at the age where I'm going to funerals again. God damn it! I thought I was done with that back in the '80s. And
My thought exactly. Like, yes, I thought, we were done in the 80s and like early 90s.
yeah, those funerals were awful, and the thought that we're doing them again is just it is. The good thing is it is, part of it is the natural progression. We're doing it because people are getting older. I think the challenge is going to be what does it mean to age with HIV in this political environment with all of the cuts that they're doing to federal programming. And I worry. I worry both for HIV positive and for HIV negative people. I think that as we age as a community, I'm this is not the moment to stop moving ahead, to stop trying, to stop experimenting, to stop, this is we are part of that first generation who is going to age.
Yeah, we're the generations that still remember things like the alternative medicines, the viatical benefits. I don't think that people know what that is
Oh, please.
today.
I remember smuggling drugs over the Mexican border. Yeah, no, Marty Delaney had us all try to be mules for him. We were desperate. We were absolutely desperate, and I would have done anything.
Yeah, and
And,
and we have, and we
yeah.
also tried everything.
Oh, please, 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 please. It's, and I think that is both the wonderfulness of the moment and the tragedy, which is that we have a treatment right now that is basically twice a year and a shot, and you go on with your life, hopefully. We'll see when it gets rolled out, but at the same time, it's happening just as we're starting to cut back on all the programs, and I worry about communities, particularly communities of color, and whether or not, and the transgender community, and whether we're going to see the benefit of this exciting science.
But what would be something that you would tell them though? Like you can't just keep telling them that you worry about them. Like,
Well, so this is the thing, and this is why I'm leaving, because what I want to do, and you know, we live in a time when retribution is a very real issue. And I don't care about retribution to me, but I worry about retribution to NMAC. And I worry that I might say the wrong thing out of my anger and rage that wouldn't just hurt me, but would also hurt the agency and probably more importantly, hurt the movement. They are looking for reasons to erase us. They are looking for reasons to figure out why they should not be investing this money into our communities. So I have no doubt that they will continue in these kind of harmful efforts that are not about creating meaningful solutions, but are about getting rid of programs that they don't like.
yeah, it's kind of disappointing to see where we are now. We're not that fierce and fearless as we thought we would be compared to how we got everything started. I think for me also, like I'm trying to avoid as much of these conversations as possible for like worry that I might say the wrong thing.
I am so worried about my big mouth and understand that it is a very different politic. The days of ACT UP, which were amazing and powerful and transformative, but that strategy wouldn't work anymore. We're seeing people take to the streets, and God love them. And but I'm not clear that that's moving the needle in a meaningful way right now. And that's the reality, is that we don't. This is where it is a titanic shift, or tectonic, or whatever the word is, shift. And trying, and so what we have to do is hold on and survive. And as we go through the process, we will figure out how to move through this. Because we will move through this, because this is ridiculous.
Okay, so let's spend some time to talk about what is Paul Kawata going to do. So you mentioned about the bucket list. I remember like the first time I saw something like that was when I was in Cape Town. There's a wall that actually said my bucket list.
Okay, so let me say this. What I'm trying to do in this next phase of my life is find some peace, is find a place where I don't have to be afraid. Right now, there are so many things happening in America that make me afraid. They make me afraid for my personal safety, but more importantly, for the safety of the people I love. I will be honest with you and say, I worry desperately for the transgender community. I worry about how these people have lost their minds. They have really, really lost their minds. And there are going to be, and there is going to be, and there is so much pain and so much. and to all the young trans kids who are coming up right now, it is, that's why you are so important. And that's why it is so important to speak up and to be out there and to let your elders retire and let them go and sit on a beach and figure out what life is supposed to be.
Why would you say that I should be out there speaking when you want to retire, Paul?
Because I'm much older than you.
Well, not that much older.
Oh, honey, we're Asian. We hide it very, very well. There is no, I told someone, boy, I'm both thankful for my genes, but also people look at me like, why are you retiring? It's because I'm old.
Well, yeah. Well, so I think that it doesn't really matter how old, like the matter is you want to take care of yourself. And
Yeah.
I certainly see that as a good role model for me, like and to be able to say that, oh, I need to step back while I can.
Well, you want to step back before you're you have to step back, before something happens to your health, before something happens to your family, before something like that happens. That's because what I'm finding as I am getting ready to retire is I have not done so many things that I should be doing. I have not managed my stress. I have not done enough exercise. I have not done all the things that you're supposed to be doing to live a long and healthy life. And so what I'm worried is, I'll live a long life because I'm Asian, but it will not be healthy and it will be very painful. And I don't do pain well at all.
Well, yeah, I know that you're going to live a long life. The Japanese have really good genes. Yeah, so
Yeah, I
no
think I
doubt
am,
about
but
that.
oh my God. But I look at some of the unhealthy older Japanese people and I just think to myself, oi, 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 it's hard. All of this is, I guess this is the thing that I want to leave people with as we kind of try to sign off here, which is that there's going to be the fight of their life right now. The story that they are writing is going to be the book of their life. That what happens in these next few years will change the course of so many lives, for good or for bad. And that struggle is important, that struggle is real. And I am very thankful that there is a new generation who is standing up and willing to fight. And please know that I am there with you in spirit. I am there with you in soul and heart, and I need some time off.
I I I think you do. We all do need some time off, especially when you've been working so hard for the movement for so long. It's not easy to be leading an organizations, into the fourth decades. That's
Uh,
phenomenal.
I have staff who were not even born when I was starting as the executive director. It is so like, what do you mean? I was talking about, how you do those icebreaker exercises, and we do them at staff all the time. And one of them was, who is your favorite artist? And I said, Barbara Streisand. And I swear to God, a third of the staff had no idea who she was. And
Oh no.
I was like, what do you mean you don't know who she is?
Like I thought everybody knows Barbara Streisand. Yeah.
That's when you know you're old.
Oh no, no, no. It's not old. It's seasoned. Like
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
are seasoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
So
what they season? They season the tough meat, honey, and that's what we also are. I will let you go after this, but I think that part of survival in this work is you've got to be tough. You've got to really understand that so much of what is happening out there is not about any specific individual, and it's not about me. And what's happening out there is just one of those things that, as political tides shift, we're going to have to manage it.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, Paul. I also want to end on a better note than to like talk about the fight, the struggle. And I want to talk about at least one fun thing that Paul Kawata is going to do.
Sure. So, probably the most fun. So, I happen to be in love with Asia.
Oh,
And
me too.
and so I am going to take a break and I am going to go to Southeast Asia for a little bit. And the goal is to sit on a beach somewhere and forget about life.
That sounds like a really great plan and it sounds very enjoyable. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can already imagine you somewhere near Bangkok, maybe, like
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Pattaya. Yeah.
Bangkok's on the list. Vietnam's on the list. Singapore's on the list. Yeah, I love all of those countries.
Well, I appreciate your time, Paul. This means so much to me that Rick asked me to do this and to
Oh,
have this conversation.
and let me say this to you, and please don't cut this out. I think you're an extraordinary activist. I think you are an extraordinary human being. I applaud your courage and the courage of all transgender folks who in this moment are are being attacked in ways that are unfair and unjust and make me profoundly sad. And so thank you for everything that you're doing.
And, and and thank you for everything that you've done. And thank you for your fashion sense. I still remember all your Versace shirts you wear to all the conferences. Yeah. So I think we this is coming to an end and I'll see you in less than 2 weeks.
Oh, yay. I look forward to seeing you. Thank
Mhm.
you.
All right. You take care, Paul. Thanks so much. Hopefully this is good enough for Rick.
Good, good, good.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.